it could be one of those situations where Kevin Warren he was thinking about, I can't really get Notre Dame. It's going to be a while to get them. UW and Oregon, if I take them, I'm probably going to destroy the Pac-12. I've already got my deal set. I've kind of done a lot of stuff here. I could continue to go here, but I see a lot of things getting pushed back on. What about Stanford? What about Cal? What about the Bay Area? What about this and that? And maybe he was just like, you know what, dude? I'm going to go back to the NFL. I know this. I'm going to get a new stadium, and maybe I'm going to go on from there. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button and the like button too. Neither of those things will cost you anything. All it's going to cost you is being up to date on everything college football and pro football, all that kind of stuff. The likes also help out the channel as well. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, I am here to tell you right here, right now, that the Voldemort of college football is potentially dying. Well, maybe not dying, but he's leaving. And I'm telling you right now, George Kliavkoff is absolutely jacked about that. Family, here we go. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren has emerged as a top candidate to be the next president/CEO of the Chicago Bears. He's interviewed in person for the job and is considered among the final candidates. The process is expected to wrap up in the upcoming weeks. Oh my goodness, Big Ten Commissioner. Dude, I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely giant. There's a lot of falling actions from here, and it's really interesting to see what the next commissioner is going to be doing, because whether or not they're going to be aggressive, this or that, I don't know, but I do know that this is absolutely gigantic news. Conference realignment, even for pro football, things like everything is going to be, this touches all 130 plus FBS schools. I am telling you right now, this is absolutely huge. So here is a connected story from him, Pete Thamel, on ESPN.com. And it says right here that he has experience as an executive with the Minnesota Vikings, including as the franchise's COO, has been appealing to the Bears, sources told ESPN. He played a vital role in helping the Vikings build a new stadium, US Bank Stadium. That's a task that the Bears are approaching upcoming on years on 326 acres in Arlington Heights. It's unknown who Warren has informed of his Bears candidacy, but sources said that it's not something that has been widely circulated. The search is expected to finish up in the upcoming weeks. And it says right here, the Big Ten released a statement Thursday which did not include the denial of Warren's candidacy or that he had an interview on the job. Over the course of 3 decades of professional and college sports, Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren regularly receives unique opportunities and requests for his expertise from leaders across the variety of industries ranging from professional sports ownership to private equity firms. The Big Ten statement said the commissioner utilizes each occurrence to listen, learn, and assist every stakeholder in the most appropriate and effective manner. Basically, yeah, we heard about it. We're not confirming or denying, but hopefully he doesn't leave, because he's absolutely been a boon to us right now. It's unusual for a sitting commissioner of a Power 5 conference to interview for a professional sports job and stay engaged in the process this long, which sources said is indicative of Warren's interest level. He has worked for the NFL as both an agent and a team executive. When he left the NFL, Warren was the highest-ranking NFL executive working on the business side for a team. So you see that. It also mentions here a couple different things. Warren has led the Big Ten with the additions of USC and UCLA and helped shepherd a record-setting television deal in the recent months that has been valued at more than $7 billion. As for the near future, the Big Ten will be a 16-team league that stretches from New Jersey to Los Angeles. Think about that. New York, LA, Chicago, DC, Detroit, a lot of big markets out there, Minneapolis, maybe necessarily missing a lot of things in Texas and things like that, in Florida in the South and the West Coast, although they were talking about Oregon and UW and Stanford and Cal, the Bay Area, Portland, and Seattle. They have not done that, and I'm telling you here right now, that is a big indication that I have a couple theories as to why he would do this. But again, let's go over really quickly here what he's going to be doing and the reason why the Bears are going to try to get him. And then we'll get into the college football side of things. So here is the situation right here. So if you come over to chicagobears.com/Arlington-Park, it says right here, the preliminary master vision of the Arlington Park situation. So you see here, they'll almost have like their own little village in here, probably have a lot of businesses, probably have some, event centers and things like that. Lots of stuff to do in here, and then the stadium over there. So you see what they have right here. The stadium district is right here. Then you have the mixed use district. And again, that would be one situation. Businesses, there's going to be, not only just, restaurants, but also like, corporate offices, things like that. Maybe even multi-use, places, gyms. There's probably going to be a lot of stuff going on in here right next to the U.S. Postal Office. See right here, post office right across the street. You can ship anything you want. But again, he was brought in for that because of what he's done with the Minnesota Vikings. And oh boy, look at your boy, Kevin Warren, what he assisted with. And again, even if you only have a partial hand in this situation, this stadium is absolutely gorgeous. I know a lot of people, lament the fact that the Vikings are an outdoor stadium now. They used to be indoors, but again, they come from the Metro Dome, and then they come over here to this. This stadium is absolutely ridiculous. I do know that in the next NFL bargaining agreement, there is going to be something to where about turf or something like that. But you see the fact of what they've done with this stadium is absolutely amazing. You blow the horn; it's so cool. It's a really, really cool environment. He helped influence that. And remember this situation here. I think that in the short term, what's going to happen there, they're still at Soldier Field. Soldier Field's it's one of the smallest stadiums in the NFL. They're trying to get a bigger, better, newer stadium. However, it's hard to get, real estate in Chicago to work with. I do know that Northwestern got a big gift recently. They released some concepts for their stadium. I don't think that Kevin Warren is going to be playing games here on purpose, but I think he has a good relationship with Northwestern. More than likely, if they were ever to be a situation in which they wanted to take Soldier Field, demolish it, and then use that park, they could. Like I said, though, Arlington Park, they have that whole situation. It could be a practice facility. It could be this, could be that. I do know that Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, wants to avoid that. But Kevin Warren got history with the Northwestern. He's going to be working for the Bears potentially, not confirmed yet. Okay. Probably going to be updating, maybe even demolishing, trying to reuse the land for, Soldier Field. He's got a lot of options here. He's got a lot of things at his disposal, and he's very, very aggressive as a commissioner. I can only imagine what he is as an executive for an NFL team. And one of the biggest aspects of this, okay, that's the football side. Okay, so he's got connections in the Big Ten, connections with Northwestern. He's very good at creating stadiums. He's brought in for a specific reason. I do think this right here, and Bob Thompson brings up a really good point. But if you don't know who Bob Thompson is, go follow him right now. He's absolutely awesome. It says right here, if Warren leaves, UW and Oregon are stuck. Oregon actually had brought in some advisors and this and that to go reach out to the Big Ten. Basically says, what do we have to do to join the league? There was a constant upheaval with the Pac-12. Everybody thought the Pac-12 was going away because Kevin Warren had said that conference realignment was done for now. It was done for now, but again, he was basically saying, hey, at some point we might go out and get UW, Oregon, Cal, and Stanford. We might go out and do that, but they ultimately, it looks like Bob Thompson, former retired president of Fox Sports Networks and Fox Sports International, he says if Warren leaves, other than a few G5 schools, hopefully my boys. Moving up, I think everyone in the P5 conference is staying where they are for the foreseeable future. I also think this is a good thing for college football. I do too. I'm not saying that Kevin Warren was bad for college football, but I do think that the constant upheaval, a 64, team top and then everybody else at the bottom, I don't like that whole situation. I like the mass of college football. I like all the storylines. And, as much as it might be cool to see the Big Ten get to 20, 24, 30 teams, something like that, I would rather have it be a more collective situation. Now, we don't know what happens here. Every single Big 12, fan out there knows Brett Yormark came in. He was not exactly Mr. I'm just going to sit on my hands. He was aggressive like he needed to be. Now, I do think, though, that the Big Ten commissioner, whoever the new Big Ten commissioner that comes in, doesn't need to be super aggressive. Okay, they've got a deal through 2029, 2030. They've got 16 teams, New York, LA, Chicago, everything like that. All they have to do is make sure that they are pushing towards, threatening the SEC on the field. They're doing a great job of threatening the SEC in the financial situations. Do not worry about that. But again, it's one of those things where I think that now it looks like the next foreseeable domino to fall, because I don't see the Big 12 and the Pac-12 pulling from each other. Sorry, not sorry. Every single Big 12 and Pac-12 fan wants to hear that. No, we're going to be able to pull them. No, they're going to pull them. It's not going to happen. It looks like the four-corner situation, the Big 12 is over. UW, Oregon, Stanford and Cal to the Big 10 is kind of done for right now. The new commission, I mean, you think about this. It could be one of those situations where Kevin Warren was thinking about, I can't really get Notre Dame. It's going to be a while to get them. UW and Oregon, if I take them, I'm probably going to destroy the Pac-12. I've already got my deal set. I've kind of done a lot of stuff here. I could continue to go here, but I see a lot of things getting pushed back on. What about Stanford? What about Cal? What about the Bay Area? What about this and that. And maybe he was just like, you know what, dude, I'm going to go back to the NFL. I know this. I'm going to get a new stadium, and maybe I'm going to go on from there. Wherever he goes, he's a very, very aggressive person. So I can't imagine where he's like, he wants to sit on his hands. That's just me being me. Remember my comments about Voldemort, okay? Kevin Warren says USC UCLA to the Big Ten. George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-12, doesn't come at Kevin Warren, doesn't even say his name, because I'm telling you right now, he's the scariest man in college football at this point. If he's leaving, college football is going to get a lot more calm, because his For Now comments were absolutely crazy. People did not know what was going to happen there. But you mentioned that George Kliavkoff got mad at, Brett Yormark for some reason, not Kevin Warren, because he knows he can't really touch Kevin Warren at this point. Kevin Warren, Greg Sankey, they're on their own level at this point. Kevin Warren might even be above that too. No SEC fans, don't at me. But you know the whole situation there. So it looks like, potentially, unless there's going to be some sort of movement here with the ACC, I mentioned that before, the ACC, that media rights deal, if you can tell me how it's going to get touched, perfect, because there's like at least like 8 or 9, commissioners not commissioners, but presidents and ADs over in the ACC. They'll be really interested in that. Also, whoever the new lead of the Big Ten and Greg Sankey over to the SEC, they'd be really interested in that, because the ACC really easily located close to the Big Ten and the SEC. Kind of hard for the Pac-12 and things like that. But I'm telling you right now, it looks like if the new commissioner of the Big Ten doesn't get Notre Dame and they don't expand out west, we might be settled for a little bit. There's going to be some G5 additions. I do think that with the addition of, teams getting to 16, again, remember, Maryland and, Rutgers did not immediately add to the Big Ten, but they added them because they wanted to make sure they get the exposure going forward. So what's going to happen here is I bet that the Pac-12 is going to be at 10. They're probably going to add a couple, maybe want to re-solidify their stance in Southern California, maybe get UNLV or something like that, maybe get a Colorado State to pair with Colorado. The Big 12 is going to be at 12. They're going to be at 14 this next year, and then they're going to drop back down to 12. But again, remember there, the networks, they like the more teams more, and that's the reason why a lot of them want to get to that 16 number, 14, 16. Beyond 16, it gets a little weird. 16 is really, really convenient because you can have a 9-game conference schedule, have 3, committed rivals every single year, play everybody every 2 years, and play everywhere every 4. It's really, really convenient for what college football is going towards. But I'm telling you, 16 is the number it looks like for the rest of those conferences. However, it looks like they're going to have to be G5 additions. I know I'm a Boise State fan. I'd like to hear that, but we'll see what happens first. Because first we got to get a commissioner in there, okay? Voldemort might be gone. Voldemort for George Kliavkoff. He was absolutely terrified to mention his name. But if he goes to the Bears, we might have some settling right now, because that person who comes in, they don't have a lot of incentive to do anything right away. It's going to probably got a couple years of stagnation for the Big Ten in terms of activity. They just got a new media rights deal. They just got 2 new teams. They got new markets. They've got everything they could have and more. Couldn't get Notre Dame. We're thinking about UW and Oregon, but decided not to because of Ohio State kind of mentioning like, don't do this. So maybe Kevin Warren wants to leave, but I'm telling you right now, this is interesting to see what happens here. Get in the comments right now, guys. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen, because there's all the speculation in the world could happen right now. I'll do probably some of that in future videos, but for right now, I want your guys' perspective. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much. I am out.